So the next section, I'm not sure how to explain it, so I'll just do this first. So right now I have these 4 hexagon prisms. If I increase this, this happens. And this next one is this. Yeah, it's a different shape, and I'll show you why later, after I get these two also upped. And his last one is this. Okay, so here's why it's like that. So you're back again. So if I go to edit mode like this, you can see that it is just a hexagon prism. And so I'll show you the other two now. Okay, so this one is actually a hexagon prism, but if you look closely, there's actually an edge that's splitting these two hexagons, this hexagon to two trapezoids. And as a result, you get, it gets something weird results. So over here, it looks about fine. But when you go to like, this one looks like some kind of square thing. Undo that again. Okay, so now, this one looks like this. And that's because instead of two trapezoids, it's now 3 rhombus. And so it also gets flat on top, but it's flat everywhere. And the last one is, if I can do this, here, let me try this one. There. So last one is this. So you have 6 triangles. So that's why it's 4 different shaped. And so let me now do this. Okay, so now I'm going to show you at least what can be done to make these look less weird. So with the hexagon prism, well, nothing needs to be done because it's already as round as we can get with this. This one, however, with the 2 trapezoids, I can just do this. So what happened was, if I go to bases right here, so now you can see that the original hexagon that's now split into 2 trapezoids, all these vertices are not the same plane anymore. And also you have a square. And so in this way, it's probably best to have, I guess, an octagon, but then you truncate only 2 of the corners and you get this. So here, everything is a quad, including original faces. That's why you have a topology. Now, of course, some people would probably rather have this than this, though, and that's okay. But they both have their pros and cons, which I'll explain in a different video. Not this one, though. So now if I do this, let me just do this first. Okay, so now with this one, right now it looks like this, but if I turn this down, then it becomes close to a sphere. To get that to work though, I have to do this. Oh, sorry, not that. I mean, I need to go to basis here, and then do it. Okay, so now we have something that looks kind of like a rhombic dodecahedron. Actually, I think it is approximately that. So yeah, so everything's all quads as well, and you can see that it's not too bad looking. I mean, this might be useful for what you're doing, but like I said, you have these 3 ways of doing it. And now the last one is going to be this. So now it looks like that, but now if I turn this down and then go to here, then now you can see that with the triangle faces, this is kind of what I have to do though. So now you can see that all these are coplanar because it has the same symmetry as the original shape. So yeah, so if you ever want to make a sphere with these hexagon prisms, then you can choose either the 1 hex, 2 quads, 3 quads, or the 6 tris. So now I'll be going to another section. Okay, so now I have these octagon things. Now you might be thinking that they're all different shapes, but well, if you look closely, so this is octagon prism, but this one is also octagon prism, except that you have the octagon divided into 4. You can kind of see how it works. And so if I would do this, first of all, remember the octagon from the previous part or something? Yeah, if you do that, it looks a little weird. So now let's go to hexagon. So hexagon is probably the highest I go with this. And now if you go this one right here, this one looks a lot better, and that's because since everything's a quad, and since this method of subdividing for first quads, that's why it's quite good. And this over here, well, you get a same problem to this, but instead of the original sides being all flat, now you have these triangle faces being kind of flat though. So now if I do this, so this one right here is actually going to be, it's 2 trapezoids and a rectangle, So if I do this, yeah, it's okay, but it's very diagonal looking at the top view, though some people prefer that. And now this one right here is, well, it's not quads, it's actually two pents. You know, pentagons instead of the typical tetragon or triangle. So now, if I do this, so yeah, you actually have this going on. So that's kind of weird though. So with the octagon prism, the best one to use is actually this one. You can see that it is the best one used. It's the most symmetrical too. So now moving to the next one. Okay, this next one's always dodecagon prisms. You can tell because of that. So you can see that you have one dodecagon, you have 6 quads, 12 triangles, 9 quads, you have 4 pents, and then you have 3 hexes. And then you have 2 that are heptagons, and then you have 5 that are quads. So here's what it looks like when I use this subdivided surface. This one, you remember, is not the best looking one. And that's because you have all that stretching going on. This one, however, is a lot better because if you do this, so yeah, you can see that it's a lot better because you have better topology. In fact, it's actually similar to the hexagon prism with just the hex face, so that's pretty good to have. And the next one is going to be this one. Let me just do this first. Okay, so now I can do this. Oh yeah, so that had the 12 triangles. So now you see that it has this weirdness going on. So here's not too bad, but then you have this. It's similar to this one over here, but a different spot. And so the next one is going to be, let's see if I do this. Okay, so here's the 9 quads. And so if I do this, this one is, well, it's probably the best one used, but you know, this one's good too. So let me get to the other 4 now. If I do this one here. Okay, so now we can do this. So now you have this. And so because you have some pentagon faces, you have this going on, that pentagon pole thing. And then over here, you just have the 3 hexagons. And so that's how it looks like. And then this one over here is going to be this one with the 2 heptagons. And that's what it looks like. And the last one is going to be the 5 quads. And yeah, that one's okay. But you know, it's a bit too, hold on a second. Yeah, it's a bit too diagonal because you can see that it's like stretched out. So in this case, the best one used is going to be either this one with the 6 quads, this one with the 9 quads, or this one with the 5 quads. So yeah, so that's how that works, and now be with another section. So now, here's the reason why I show you all those prisms with this subdivided surface. So if you go to Q right here, if I increase it, it actually is looking good. And then we have this hexagon prism with just hex spaces, and it's pretty good too. And then you might be wondering about that pole, but that pole's fine because it's just for center reasons. And also reduce poly count. And it doesn't look too bad, so I'll use that sometimes. Next one is the same one, except that now you have 2 trapezoids instead of 1 hex. And if you do that, then you get all these quads, and you get a better like edge flow, but you don't get to like this 6 instead of 4. But the problem is you have a lower symmetry, which is diagonal in this case. So sometimes you want, other times you probably prefer this one. And so if you go to this octagon, now there's octagon faces here. You have 4 kites, and then you have 2 trapezoids and a rectangle here. So if you do this, so that's what it looks like. And this one is good too. So this one's good for square symmetry, and this one's good for diagonal symmetry. I prefer this one though, but anyways. And then these last 3 are the dodecgons. So you have these 6 quads, do this, and it's similar to the hexagon prism with the hex face right here. Yeah, you can see that. And then over here, once I do this, let's see. Okay, so if I do this now here, and now I need to do this. Okay, so now we have these 9 quads. If you do this, you get the tetragon symmetry with the dodecagon. And then this last one here is these 5 quads, and if you do this, you have a diagonal symmetry. So I chose these 8 because they are the ones that have the best topology with the subsurf modifier and stuff. And if I were to do this again, turn this all down, or I could just do this. Oh, so not that one. I meant select everything here, and now I can take a shortcut by just doing this. Yeah, notice how all these are quads except for this. This is a hex. And now you see another reason why these should not be considered just n-gons, because they work quite well with this case. So I'm moving to the last section. Okay, so now let's do this grouping thing. So over here, I'm not sure you can see, but this has to be a vertex. So this is the most important thing in mesh, because without this, you couldn't get any meshes. So yeah, one vertex. If I were to do this, so now you have an edge which has 2 vertices. And this is the second most important because this allows for, not just vertices, but also faces like this, which comes up to the 2 most common ones. So you have quads and tris. So this one here is the one that people use, and it's also the best one because it has face loops and edge loops. It's the only one that can do that. And then tris right here are good for, like the most simple polygon you can get. Most simple polygon that has an area, say. In fact, when you go to like game engines, they always triangulate all faces, so that's why they're here. So you can see that this is by itself, and this is by itself, and these two are grouped together. And so if you go over here, now you have the 2 polygons that everyone considers n-gons like the rest, but I did show you why they shouldn't be done that way. So now the best way is just to have these 2 grouped together, and these are special because, well, you saw that this one along these 2 are all ones that can tilt by themselves on a flat plane. And then this one is because it's between this and this, so we would have this not in this group though. And of course, if you go over here, we have the rest of them, which, I would call the n-gons, the actual ones. Of course, if you call these n-gons, then you might as well call it ones, because technically an n-gon means that if you have n, that means number, and then gon is number of sides. So you have, 1 gon, actually 0 gon because there's no sides. But yeah, you have 2 gon, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 gon, and so on. So instead of having these grouped with this, it's best to do like this. Before I go, if you have any questions, ask me in the comment section. And so, of course, if you're going to use the whole subdividing faces thing I showed you at the beginning and use that as the only reason why these are n-gons, then I don't know what to tell you. But anyways, that's it for now, so bye.